It is starting. Let me retweet this stream. I will be getting to your calls, guys. Hang tight. What's up, everybody? I am streaming live on Facebook, D Live, YouTube, Periscope, Trovo. We'll be streaming live on Twitch shortly if it hasn't connected quite yet. And of course on TalkStream Live and JLP Live. Let's kick right off with let's just play 30 seconds or a minute of this song thing louder with the beach scene going, just to have a nice beginning to my show, and then I'll come in and start talking and you can lower it. Nice. Enjoy this song. It's by DieRadioDie, which I think was a Christian band, or is. And this song is called The Bartender. Enjoy this, I think. Isn't this nice? I clean the counters and smoke filtered through the air. And watch as it stumbled, I watch as the last fly. Hopefully the stream's going okay, guys. You can lower it a little bit now. And no, this is not at the drive-in. This is DieRadioDie. And the song is called The Bartender. And it's about a guy it portrays a first-person account of some bartender who's all guilty because he gave a stumbling man, so much to drink that he had a fatal accident on the freeway. The singer needs more bass in his voice. And, I think this would have been considered emo music back in the day. It's from the early 2000s, I think. And I like this song. I like the feel of it. But I do notice that there's a lot of music that's like pushes depressing feelings. A lot. And even Johnny Cash sang a 9 Inch Nails song about self-harm, what they call self-harm. Hurting yourself just to feel something. Warped Tour music. Yeah, I felt that this song may have been a little too long, but I like this feel of it again. But I'm not a fan of like the whininess or the crying or the I feel like committing suicide. Because some of these guys who sing this angsty music have committed suicide. I miss At the Drive-In, says Burning Orchids. Orchid, great band. Dirty band, but great. White people music, yes. So today, guys, I will be taking your calls. 888-775-3773. One line open. Many of you have already called in, and you're talking about demons, the so-called stimulus package, which is a mess. I talked a little bit about it in Hake News. Zach has a response to Maze and Earl, Zach the young man, and more. I will touch, as I have time, on other news. There's a former Trump advisor challenging this Adam Kinzinger rhino. Oh my gosh. And Trump wants GOP entities to stop using his name and likeness. I kind of like that news. I don't know the details. I have a little bit more information on Meghan Markle and Harry. What Markle, I guess, is his last name. May as well be, right? Listen to this beautiful song. And I have other things too. Other things. I listen to Pocket. I mean, I don't listen. I look at Pocket now and then, which is an app that recommends articles. I used to save articles on this app called Pocket. And they push the farthest left madness, anti-white, anti-American mess. And so I have some propaganda from Pocket to share with you as well. It is International Women's Day. What a mess. Let's go ahead and fade this out. It's too long IMO, in my opinion. It's already 9:07, 9:08 almost. So with that, thank you, DieRadioDie. You can die. Just kidding. System of a Down. Yeah, I remember them from high school. Okay, guys, let's get on with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how are you all doing? I am fine. Sixto Rewired says, Firefox tries shoveling Pocket's mess down my throat every time I open it. Yeah, so I thought that they were giving it to me because I downloaded their app back in 2013 or 2014 when I first started listening, or working for, the Jesse Lee Peterson show as a producer, because I was saving articles, interesting articles. I thought it was a nice, easy way to save an article rather than bookmarking. Remember boomers bookmark. But anyway, it is Firefox, by the way. Firefox, I believe, is a far-left organization that fired their guy who went on, struck out on his own, and helped create the web browser called Brave. Brave is like an even safer version of Firefox. Completely different, right? Firefox is a web browser, right? And that they fired that guy because the SJWs found out that he donated years earlier, I think, as I recall, right, to Prop 8, California Proposition 8 in 2008, I think, the year that they elected Obama, to their shame. Proposition 8 of California protected normal marriage. It said, marriage is between one man and one woman. Duh. And the Mormons were for it. Many blacks were for it. We all voted for it. But I don't know that it was ever enforced in California. And within a few years, the Supreme Court, the so-called Supreme Court of the United States, imposed a fake definition of marriage when they have no, it's not even in their jurisdiction to even mess with that. Although we did have DOMA, a federal act or law or something called DOMA, the Defense of Marriage Act. That was under George W. Bush, saying that marriage is between one man and one woman. And then when Obama got into office, Obama, and I remember this because of the great Congressman Steve King, Obama, Eric Holder, the sleazy wingman of Obama, Attorney General, who was held in contempt of Congress, they refused to enforce DOMA, the Defense of Marriage Act, but they presumed to enforce imaginary same-sex marriage down the throats of all people, including Christians who get forced to bake a gay cake for a gay so-called wedding. What a mess. Lin Yun Chin says, it's prancing time, entrancing time. Come and dance with the Prince of Prance. His through D poor scent, 30%. The son of France, Joel, la la la. He's actually not in the studio at this time. It's White Chris and me. By the way, happy birthday to White Chris. Man, 32 years old. Very nice. That's cool. A man. He's a man now.
Finally.
He was a man at 31 too, by the way. FYI. Yeah, finally. That's cool. We need more men. And we're getting more men. And that's encouraging to see and hear. Isn't it? Isn't it? You have to be blind and stupid to think that, oh, Jesse Lee Peterson just hates women and black women especially and blacks, and he's empty and shallow and he's not a real preacher. Meanwhile, like, you hear every day callers calling in, women and men. I should say men and women. All races waking up. Cutting out the sex out of wedlock and all that stuff. So all these people who say, you only care about the gays, you don't check yourself. All you people who are addicted to pornography and having sex out of marriage and divorcing and remarrying, we're not for any of that. Duh. Be perfect, right? So anyway, yeah, this Pocket thing. And sometimes Pocket, which is basically a article suggestion thing now, outlet now. But anyway, sometimes they put out interesting information. If, for example, they have this one article that says, why 6 hours of sleep is as bad as none at all. That's interesting. They say that 6 hours of sleep is not enough. Meanwhile, I think Trump gets, 3? Something like that. Some of the old guys get like 3 hours of sleep. Granted, they probably take some naps. Or Trump drinks Diet Coke after Diet Coke after Diet Coke. I read somewhere on Bill O'Reilly's book about him. Out of a bottle, so it's healthier. No, I'm kidding. It's not healthier, but it's supposedly better. Tastes better, I think, or feels better. Poured into a glass with ice. And they have this article called The Rise of the Biden Republicans out of Politico, which is a far-left outlet. The Biden Republicans, give me a break. And that's, I think, put out by the same sleazy guy who, maybe this wasn't sleazy, but there was such a thing as Reagan Democrats, people who liked Reagan and voted for Reagan even though they're Democrat voters. Biden is, from what I understand, Reagan was a unique man at the time. He, former Democrat, said the Democrat Party left me. From what I'm told, a guy who said that he was the worst president, from what I was told as a high schooler, senior in high school, from my government and economics teacher, I overheard him say Reagan was the worst president we've ever had, and FDR, Franklin D. Roosevelt, the guy who basically kind of helped usher communism into the country, but many of them did, right, honestly, was the best. But he said, he granted that Reagan brought a lot of morality back to the office. A guy who thinks that FDR was the best and thinks Reagan was the worst, thinks that Reagan brought a lot of morality. It's hard to know if he's telling the truth, right? That was a teacher of mine from high school. And they have another article I've seen this so much over the years. It's almost like old 2011 or older news, but this is an article that says, why saying, I don't see race at all, just makes racism worse. You know, the people that say, I don't see color. It's silly. Instead of being blind to race, colorblindness makes people blind to racism. And it's from ideas.ted.com. TED Talks. I've seen one TED Talk I liked. And that was by the great, what's that guy's name? the infamous TED Talk about...
Sam Hyde.
Yeah, Sam Hyde.
The greatest TED Talk.
Yeah, I like that TED Talk. He kept on covering his face because he kept on laughing. It was funny. I watched the whole thing. But give me a break. You know, it's a typical boomer thing to say, I don't see color. But yes, you do. You just don't. It's what they mean is it's really not a concern of mine. I judge by people's character or how they present themselves. And that's how all people are, honestly. That's how all people are. Except people judge good character to be evil and bad character to be fine. That's what's really going on. And then there's another article that's so interesting. People literally don't know when to shut up or keep talking, science confirms. Case in point. I'm pointing at myself. I'm joking a little bit, but some people say, anyway, it's kind of interesting. And there's another one about phone call anxiety. And I see this with a lot of young people on Twitter. When I see them on Twitter, or maybe Instagram, but mostly on Twitter, because I'm more on Twitter than Instagram. You'll see memes about people not being like, don't call me, just text me. Something to that effect, where people just have so much. It's like anxiety is encouraged and coddled and enabled. People having social anxiety. They don't want to pick up the phone and call and stuff like that. That is so common. And so this one is purporting to say how to get over. I don't know if they would give any good advice, but those are just some pocket headlines for you. Some of them kind of interesting or juicy, and some of them just pushing absolute mess and propaganda. Anyway, I have so many calls on the line. I want to get right to some of them. So let's just get right into it. TED Talks are so dumb for the most part, with a few small exceptions, says Meave. Yes. Oh, first, let me just double check the super chats. Oh, by the way, it is Women's History Month. Let me just show a couple of these pictures from the outside of the thing. I saw in the Jesse Lee Peterson's YouTube live chat that some guy said Bing has a big mural on the side of a building, a photograph of this big mural on the side of a building of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the late, not so great, former so-called Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. This is Microsoft. Microsoft owns Bing, right? I think. Yes, it does, because look at that. And it has a picture of, and it's pretending to have like Lady Justice, you know, the statue of the woman holding up the measuring thing, the old school measuring thing, Lady Justice, and a picture of the late old lady, pro-abortion, pro-woman, wants to see 100% of women on the Supreme Court, and then equality will be so-called achieved, and no men, right? Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the feminist, evil, dead woman. Sick. And then Wikipedia, of course, is pushing this down people's throats, too. And it's kind of disgusting. Celebrate International Women's Day. Help close the knowledge gender gap on Wikipedia this March. Join us. It's probably just asking for money. And then their logo, it says, it has what is that symbol that symbolizes a woman, right? It's a circle with a cross down at the bottom of it. Whereas the man, it's a circle with an arrow pointing up into one side, right? And but it's a little bit manipulated, this logo for female, to have the Mind the Gap logo inside of it too. Which seems vulgar to me, but it's talking about the gender gap, the knowledge gender gap. What, women don't have as much knowledge? If anything, they have too much knowledge. They think they know everything. So conceited. Anyway. Okay, now for reals this time, to calls. First, let me get to a first-time caller, Jonas, in Ontario, Canada, has an interesting question for me. What's up, Jonas? How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, man?
Fine.
I appreciate you taking my call, especially the first call. That's awesome.
Nice. Well, thank you for calling and holding.
Well, you know, I can remember once in one of the Bond meetings, or like the church there, it was someone had asked about demons and if Jesse had believed in them, and he had said that he had. And I'm curious what you guys think about that, because Like, like, is it good or evil, right or wrong? Like either you're influenced by good or evil. But it seems that some people are more influenced by evil than others. Like, I've seen sometimes people just all of a sudden, it's like they get taken over by something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I do believe that demons are real, and that some people are perhaps more demon possessed than others.
Right.
I think most people are possessed, maybe.
Yeah, right. And I'm curious because, like, say you were to somehow like snap out of it and to be able to do like God's will instead.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like some people are like maybe influenced by demons, but you ever hear about like people selling their souls and stuff? And like, is it possible that we got people on the earth, you think, that are like, it's not just like demons that are like pulling their strings, but you think maybe there's people on earth that it's like they're controlled by Satan himself?
I mean, I think most of us are controlled by Satan himself. But you're talking about the extreme examples?
Yeah, well, because I figured there seems like there's like some kind of spectrum of some kind where like most people, it's kind of like demons whispering thoughts into their brains or whatever, and so you got people that kind of fighting those demons, and then it seems like some people that maybe just like totally gave in, and it just seems like some people are more evil than others,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of like the symptoms look different to different people. And some people head for early death right away, and people do all kinds of crazy things. Like some people turn into homosexuals, or some people turn into other philanderers, or some people get all into pornography, or some people start hurting themselves or get into depression, or some people get super successful and all into that, and they keep themselves distracted. I think that Satan kind of, in some ways, it's kind of like what the country is doing to us, where they're trying to spoil us and keep us comfortable slaves, They're trying to keep us comfortable, but not free.
Yeah, and it seems like to accomplish that, there's like some kind of like hidden power, right? And I'm curious because, you have like people that want to do, say, God's will, and then you got maybe people that they just totally switch over and they're cool with doing Satan's will, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, like, I brought this up on Samuel the Swede's chat once there recently, was
nice.
Because you got these like secret groups and stuff, right? And watching, say, the Flintstones, you'll see like Fred Flintstone on one shoulder. Sometimes he'll have an angel, and on the other shoulder he'll have like a devil whispering in his ear. But there's also this green alien in the Flintstones, if you remember, called the Great Gazoo, right? And that only Fred and Barney can see him.
Interesting.
But the thing is that Fred and Barney, they also go to the Water Buffalo Lodge. They go to like this lodge meeting, and there's like the Grand Poobah, right? And I'm curious because only Fred and Barney can see the Great Gazoo, but I'm wondering maybe his other lodge members can see him too. How
old are you, and how recently have you watched the Flintstones that you remember all of this?
It's been a while since I watched them, James, but I consume a lot of media because I don't know, it's just kind of fun to try to figure stuff out,
Was there a report about the Flintstones that reminded you of all this?
No, it's just something that kind of like...
How old are you?
I'm 40. I'll be 42 in April.
Okay. So you're probably a few years older than me. That would mean you're all that much more familiar with the Flintstones. Although,
yeah, it was like at lunchtime.
Were you allowed to watch TV every day as a kid?
Oh man, was I ever?
Okay, all right, that makes more sense because I wasn't really allowed to watch a lot of TV as a younger kid.
I didn't. I kind of was diagnosed with something I didn't really have as a kid. And so I didn't really go to school. Like one year, I missed almost like 200 days.
Wow.
I played a lot of video games and watched a lot of TV shows.
Sounds kind of fun, but maybe counterproductive.
Well, on one hand, I didn't really get indoctrinated, but on the other hand, I'm a really big loser.
Okay. Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, like you missed out on like social interaction or whatever.
Yeah, when high school came, I dropped out in grade 9, man. I just couldn't. I was so beta, I couldn't handle nothing.
Was this in Canada?
Yeah.
You guys are allowed to drop out at age 14 or 15?
Actually, they're usually like legal. They'll try to like do some kind of legal action. But I was almost 16 when I dropped out.
Okay.
So the principal, they decided that by the time it gets to the courts, you're going to be 16 anyways.
Yeah.
So
That's
And then,
funny.
Yeah. It's a long story, man. My life's been crazy, but I
bet.
had initially moved out when I turned 16.
Are you
It's a long story.
have you ever been possessed? Do you know?
I could be right now, man.
Yeah.
But to be honest, yeah, I think because I like lived a lifestyle of consuming like different drugs and stuff.
Yeah, and that's kind of inviting that stuff because
Yeah.
you're just dulling your awareness. and
Yeah, so
defenses.
I mean, I could be totally like possessed and
Yikes.
like, yeah, like I don't know, man. Like I do the silent prayer. Lately, it's been really. It seems like it's not up to me to do it. Like it seems when I was really heavy into it for like a long time, even before I came across Jesse.
Yeah.
It was something I was doing, but recently it's kind of like it's not like something I can make myself do. Either I do it or I don't. You know.
Yeah.
But anyway, I wanted to hear your thoughts about demons, and I hope maybe this is something you guys will address a little more because I'm really curious too about what they are, how they work, what's going on with these thoughts, where exactly are they coming from? Do we have are there like fellow humans on Earth that are so possessed that maybe they go into some kind of like astral realm and they project thoughts into our minds, and maybe someone's really messing with us, you know?
Yeah, it's best to know like yourself. That's the main thing because you don't want to get into all this outside and fascinating knowledge about conspiracies and things. You know what I mean? Because people get into this outside knowledge about the world outside of them, and then they don't really know themselves, and then they're just kind of wasting their time. You know what I mean? It's interesting, but you don't want to get too into that.
Well, yeah, it's kind of scary. I heard a saying once about when you stare into the abyss, how it stares back at you. And I really don't need it staring back at me, so I'll probably take a little break from all of this stuff for a bit, you know?
I mean, people play with Ouija boards and all that stuff, and I know that that's not what you're advocating, but yeah, it's not necessary to get all into the mysterious.
I just want to know what's up with it, so whoever's whoever's up to no good, they can just leave me the hell alone, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway, I appreciate you taking my call.
Thank you, Jonas. It's good to hear from you.
Thank you so much. You take care, man.
All right. Call again. Take care.
Thank you. Cheers.
Nice. Killian in Boston, Massachusetts. How are you doing, Killian?
Guten Morgen.
Guten Morgen. That's German for good morning. Thank you. Or Guten Tagen for you, because you're in Mass.
I don't know if it's, yeah, you're right.
Or
Afternoon.
Guten Tarde. That's a mashup of Spanish and German. Terrible.
No, for your last caller, I wanted to say his deal with demons and all that stuff. I've experienced that before, and if you ever find yourself confronted with a demon, the best thing to do is say, "In the name of Jesus Christ, I rebuke you."
Okay. Appreciate that. Hope you heard that.
They'll instantly vanish.
Nice.
I've experienced it in the past myself. I mean, sometimes you wake up in the middle of the night and you find a demon sitting on your chest, and you can't move any of your muscles. And
I've heard of that.
yeah,
A friend of mine has had that before. They call it sleep paralysis, right? Is that what that is?
Yeah. Yeah, if you say, "In the name of Jesus Christ, I rebuke you," it'll stop it.
Nice. That's cool. Appreciate that.
But, yeah, the reason I initially called in was for this stimulus bill, or not stimulus, but the coronavirus relief package.
Yeah.
It's
Ridiculous.
Kind of crazy, but
Go on.
I don't know. It kind of benefits me. I got laid off months ago for the coronavirus nonsense, and
Right.
it's kind of interesting to find out that they're extending it for another 6 months.
They're extending what for another 6 months?
Unemployment.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes, but okay, so I don't want to get too personal. Did you get that job that you were hoping for?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I actually found out this morning. I got an email saying they went with someone else that was willing to work for cheaper.
Oh, okay.
I think it's
Sorry to hear that. Another opportunity will come.
No, I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. It's just been a roller coaster of a morning, and I don't know. I just felt like calling in.
Okay. You just found? Did you just find out this morning?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
wow.
Yeah, it's like, you know how when it rains it pours?
Yeah.
Like this morning it's been so crazy. I checked my email. They said they were willing to go with someone else that was going to work for cheaper.
Can you counter offer and say, "Oh, I'll work for cheaper"?
Well, you're not supposed to do that.
But could you?
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, I was also supposed to go in for surgery this morning, and I got a call saying that my surgery got pushed off.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a mess.
Yeah.
I guess that teaches. I guess that means don't get too excited or too anticipatory about anything, huh?
Yeah. And then right after that, my grandfather called me up and said that he was having to put his dog down. He had an old dog.
Yeah. Yeah, life comes in waves.
Everything happens at the same time.
Yeah. Yep. Nothing's happening and then everything's happening.
Exactly.
Slow and then it's busy. Yeah. Interesting, man.
Yeah,
so be careful not to get bribed by all this relief stuff. You know what I mean?
I'm not gonna sit on my behind and do nothing. I honestly miss working. Like,
I bet.
I miss being like a contributing member society. It's like,
yeah,
you know, I work as an industrial electrician, and someone needs to keep the machine spirit running.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
But I mean, it's just crazy. It's just like, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of relieved with this relief package.
Yeah, of course. It's so evil, as you well know. They shut down this stuff, in my opinion, illegally. But we the people are, on the whole, so weak that we just comply. And then they swoop in and pretend like they're saving us. They're not saving us. They're just keeping us, like I said earlier, comfortable slaves. So
yeah,
it's so evil. You should. I mean, I forget whether yours was even shut down related. Maybe it was. Your firing.
Yeah, it
or
was.
whatever.
I was working for this town. I was the head maintenance guy for the town sewer plant, but the town, it was like a vacation town. So most of their money was all from bars and restaurants, and it was a union job. So since I was one of their newest hires,
last hired, first fired.
Yeah, last hired, first fired.
Yeah, I remember that story. You were one of the more capable people. In fact, perhaps the most. Yeah, what a shame, man.
Yeah, no, my non-union supervisors were real pissed that they had to let me go. It wasn't up to them.
Is there a business? Is there a business that you could start on your own since you have some extra free time?
I was thinking about that, to be honest. I was thinking about making like the counterfeit vaccine approval forms. You know, like a lot of businesses and people say that they are going to require everyone to get the vaccines. I was thinking about just making counterfeit vaccine forms for the people that didn't want to get it.
Don't say that on the radio. Don't say that on my show. But that's kind of funny.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Wink, wink.
Man, the vaccine situation. The whole situation is so ridiculous. Because I'm kind of.
It was one of the fastest vaccines that were ever rolled out.
I know.
Normally, vaccines require like 10 years worth of testing before they give it to people.
That's the power. On one hand, that's the power of Trump, but on the other hand, I don't trust these people. They backstabbed Trump themselves. Honestly, they delayed something coming out, some news coming out, till after the election to hurt Trump. I think.
I mean, I'm a big Trump supporter, but I was kind of salty about the fact that he came out and was pushing it so hard. I mean, if you look back at some of his tweets from a decade ago, he was very skeptical about vaccines.
Right.
Not just the corona vaccine, but
Yeah.
I think the political pressure, because if he came out and said, I don't know about these vaccines, then they would have jumped on him. I mean, it's not like they don't jump on him for anything, but they would have gone after him 10 times harder.
Yeah. That's true.
And I mean, it's not even a vaccine.
It changes
like
your
an
DNA, right? It
mRNA,
changes your DNA to produce the virus or something like that. I don't know. Some kind of weird thing. Some scientist said that.
Like it's not really a vaccine. It's like a DNA altering type thing.
Interesting. And so even that part of it is new. Because
exactly.
I don't think that's been made before, unless I'm mistaken. And you know what? They've been planning / anticipating a crazy virus and the pushing of vaccines. In fact, they've been doing it for years. They've been they were all too ready to exploit this so-called crisis and overblow it in order to gain more control and take away more freedom and push this madness. The media has been pushing get your flu shot for years, and they've been smearing so-called anti-vaxxers for years, more and more and more.
They demonize them, but it's like they have legitimate, arguments against it. I mean, if you get harmed by any product, you can take a company to court. But there's a specific court in the United States for vaccine.
Yeah.
The vaccine court.
Yeah.
And 99.999% of the time, like Jesse might say, they always rule in favor of the vaccine company.
Yep. That's so evil. And of course, there's going to be many frivolous or fraudulent suits or accusations flying, but there's going to be a lot of, they don't even deny the fact that it's going to harm a certain number of people and even kill a certain number of people. They know that they say, oh, it's built in, that's expected, of course it's expected, because there's always going to be somebody with a crazy side effect.
That's the whole problem with society today. I mean, there's no accountability.
Right.
I mean, maybe if there was like 15% people that, got compensation for being actually harmed by these products.
Yeah.
I might accept it a little more.
Right.
But I mean, I don't know. Jesse talks about, not just Jesse, you and Jesse, there's no accountability in society anymore.
Right.
And I mean, that's one of the biggest problems with democracy that I always talk to people about. The problem with democracy is there's no accountability.
Right.
You have these managers, and they get elected, and then their basic goal is to enrich themselves as much as they can.
Yeah.
During their term, and then at the end, you're going to vote them out? What kind of accountability is that? They go and get a job working for special interests afterwards. And
if they even get kicked out, because then they have the name recognition and dumb people, and they want more people voting. Biden wants criminals voting and everybody.
Or they just rig the election.
Right. There's all sorts of ways, man. It's very corrupt.
I mean, back in the day when you had like a monarchy or a dictator,
yeah,
the accountability was that if they went against the people and like screwed them over, and they get their head chopped off.
That's in France, man. Well, I guess a little bit it happened in England too. But yes,
true.
It is. It's corrupt. The people need to repentance, right? I think that's what it is.
Well, I mean, I don't want to promote the whole accelerationist ideology, but
of course not.
I mean, they make some strong arguments to say that people are too comfortable these days.
It is. They are.
Actually stand up and do anything.
And that's by design. With Biden, and all these people bringing in these illegals, on one hand, they do not mind the crime happening as long as it doesn't get reported too much. And the mainstream media makes sure not to report it too much because they have this setup where, it's racist to report that it's an illegal alien who did this or whatever, or an immigrant or a refugee who did this, or their children. And so they have like this cover up by custom, by their culture, the culture of hiding when a non-white does something wrong, hiding it.
No, calling the police is racist.
But they also, they like the smarter, more well-behaved socialist, anti-white people to come in as immigrants so that they can be propped up as well-behaved immigrants. These are
They always promote the talented 10%.
Right. It's such a
always
terrible
put
mess.
The immigrants with the shiniest smile on the television.
Yeah.
Say, oh, anyone who thinks that immigrants are all these ne'er-do-wells or bad people, that's just racism.
It's so vulgar. Can you find that picture that you showed me yesterday, Chris? White Chris, showed me this poster, online, right, of a TV series or some type of entertainment output of this Asian or Chinese family, father, wife, couple of kids, a little boy, all well dressed like they're in the 1950s or whatever, and they're walking into this like somewhat foggy field, and behind them is a big building, a big like a barn or something behind them, because it's kind of out in the field and out in the country, with an American flag painted across this broad side of this building behind them. And they're Asians. It looks like it's, white family. Oh, so there's something creepy about it. And then you see the American flag, and you look closer, and it's an Asian family. And it's all about replacing whites and casting whites as evil. Yep. And it's so sick. It's prominent. It's everywhere.
I think the reason why the establishment is trying to replace whites is that we are the worst slaves, and they want slaves.
Yeah, that's true. We're the most independent thinking, most freedom-minded, most
rebellious.
Individualistic in a way. Yeah.
And they don't want us here anymore. I mean,
and yet law-abiding.
Law-abiding. I mean,
compliant.
You can make an argument for
look at this picture.
Tyranny that they're trying to push. We're the worst consumers. White people on average save most of their money.
Yeah.
For long-term things.
Right.
We don't go out and buy sneakers and.
Yeah, we get those. We get those credit cards that are no annual fee, and we pay it off in full every month. They call us freeloaders.
They hate it when you do that.
Yeah.
They hate it when you do that. But no, it's just.
What a mess.
I don't know. I'm at a loss for. Like, where do we go from here?
Just do your part, man. Protect yourself. Set your life up.
Is it going to be like a balkanization in America where different states secede? And because people are like, oh, I'll never see a civil war or secession in my lifetime, but
we don't know.
I don't know.
We don't know either way. What's that?
And I mean, I don't know if you watched the AF Pack.
I haven't. I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched parts of it. It's cool.
Well, one of the biggest things that in the last speech that Nick Fuentes gave, he says he simply said America would not exist if it wasn't for white Europeans.
Right. Yeah, that's what JLP says all the time.
Everyone's trying to say America is just an idea.
Right.
But he rebuffed that, and he said America is a people.
Yeah. If we get replaced, which it's happening, we kind of deserve what we get, though. That's why I'm glad that people are standing up in the right way,
Well, I don't like to hate on the boomers too much, but you have to admit that they kind of sold us down the river.
Yeah, they were poorly raised themselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, each generation has its own responsibilities.
Well, it's like they say how the Lord of the Rings movies, where it wasn't really a movie. It was more of a song of how things went through life, where everything goes through cycles. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't have to remind you of the meme where it's like strong men make good times.
Yep.
And good times make weak men.
Weak men make bad times. Bad times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope that
just
we can
happened to be born
overcome
in
the
time
spoiling.
of hard times.
Yeah, I mean, they pretend like, oh, we have to take care of the poor. Jesus was a socialist. We have to take care of the poor in this country. The so-called poor in this country are spoiled. They're not poor. There's nobody poor in the country. Anyway, Killian, appreciate talking with you. We'll talk again.
Yeah, if everyone was poor in this country, then how come everyone in the rest of the world wants to come here?
Yeah. Yeah, seriously. They
If
take
everyone's so
major
racist
advantage.
towards immigrants, then how come everyone wants to come here?
Yeah. Take care, Killian.
All right, have a good day.
You too.
Enjoy the rest of your program.
Appreciate it. Very nice. Feminist as heck says, Happy International Women's Day, Hake. I hope you have a great day and celebrate all women. Smiley face. Appreciate the support, feminist as heck. And Hot Computer Smell gave a super chat. Streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. That's how you can go to support. It says, Hola, Hake. Hola, Hot Computer Smell. Thank you. Appreciate all the support, guys. And all the stay safes and whatever you guys are doing over on Trovo. Trovo.live/The Hake Report. Different from DLive. Ragnar0321 gave a stay safe, which is a form of a super chat. Thank you. Appreciate that. Let me get to Zach in Columbus, Ohio. Zach, how are you doing?
I am doing great. Hake, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
James, not Hake. I have a response for Maze and Earl.
Yeah, they called in last week bashing you hard.
They did, and I didn't even get to say anything when I was on the phone with Maze on Friday because all she did was blah 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 blobber.
That's her. Yep.
And go on and on. And then I watched the video of Earl bashing me, saying that he feels sorry for me and all this, and I'm like, man, I feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
But I want to say to Maze, I was rewatching the video and
stay close to your phone for me, Zach, so you come in loud and clear.
Can you hear me better now?
That's a little better. Thank you.
I want to say to Maze, she called in on Friday. Obviously we were on the phone together, and she was like, "Tell me how Black Lives Matter and the KKK is worse." Maze, that didn't even make any sense.
I know it didn't. And guys, please pardon the breaking up of his phone line. I'm not sure what end it's on. Let's just bear with it. Yeah, it didn't make sense, Zach.
Here, put me on hold real quick and let me try and fix it. Is that fine?
Okay, yeah, I'll put you on hold. Yeah, take care, Business Bear. Cast an on fire. So did Cobra Koi 99. Thank you, guys. L. Moses with a super chat on trovo.live/The Hake Report says, The Hake Report, la, la, la. Appreciate that. That's cool. Okay, I think it sounds better now, Zach. Thanks for fixing that. Maybe.
Is it all better?
Might be. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Okay, yeah. I just want to say to Maze that she has no logic.
Speak up for me, man. It's coming in a little quiet.
It's coming in quiet. What about now?
That's better.
Okay. I don't know what's going on with the phone today, man. This isn't an Obama phone. I don't know what's going wrong.
It's all right. Just stay close, speak up loud and clear, and we'll do the best we can. It's still a little bit of breaking up, but it's all right.
Hold on. I'm going to transfer over.
I don't think it's on your end, man. I think it might be on our end. So don't even sweat it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to stay on long then if it's breaking up, but I just want to say to Maze that you're illogical. You have no logic of anything. You support all these crazy things. You have no logic or anything, and you're from Dayton, so that makes sense. People from Dayton are crazy.
Dang. Except for Blazing Hogs. Blazing Hogs is cool.
Yeah, Blazing Hogs. Yes, he lives on the good side of Dayton.
And I think your phone fixed itself, or our connection fixed itself, so you're fine. Thank you.
Okay. That's good to know. I do want to say though, Earl is so crazy. He calls in every day. I was watching some of your old ones, and he answers talking about "Hola, buenos dias" and all this crazy stuff. And then he just sits on the phone for 10 minutes and argues with you and screams at you and over you, and then when you ask him questions, he doesn't even know how to answer them.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that these guys like to change the subject. You ask them a direct question, they say something else entirely.
They do. And Mays and Earl, if you have a response for me, call in, and I want to see what you have to say to me. All I have to say to you is that you're not logical, you guys have no sense, and you need to fix your mind and get right.
Right on, Zach. Appreciate that. And honestly, I agree with you. They don't have logic. They're not logical people.
They don't. Well, it was nice talking to you, Hake.
Thank you.
I mean, James.
Good to hear from you.
Yes. All right.
All right. Take care, Zach. Very nice. Breaking. This is a tip from Bubs Love. Biden just declared March white, parentheses, Irish, History Month. According to, and he provides a link to whitehouse.gov. A proclamation on Irish-American Heritage Month, 2021. I think Biden is supposed to be Irish. That's why he's a Catholic, but not the decent kind of Catholic, like the Groypers are. Those guys are decent guys mostly. Not so with Joe Biden. Whitehouse.gov. From the briefing room, March 1st, 2021. Since before the founding of our nation, Irish immigrants. See, this is kissing up and chipping away at the people. Have arrived on our shores with an unyielding spirit of determination that has helped define America's soul and shape our success across generations. This is partly why I don't count Irish or Italians as whites, because you guys catch this identity thing more than normal whites, this fake identity thing. And you guys have this victimhood. Well, not you guys. Many people, many Irish, many Italians, they side with the POCs because they're like, oh, we were called N-word wops. I shouldn't say wop, right? Oh, I don't know. Without papers. But I heard that Italians were called fobs before Asians were called fobs. Fob meaning fresh off the boat. And I think that that's supposed to be like as bad as the N-word for some. They're trying to make every word said by a white be so bad that the whites are not allowed to say it. Meanwhile, everybody normal just speaks freely, you know? So shameful. Let me get to Kathleen in Texas. The Texas governor is ending the mask mandates. How are you doing, Kathleen? It's good to hear from you.
Good. How are you?
Doing fine, thank you. No woman is good.
I'm sorry. I'm doing well.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I was just going to comment. Of course, it's a wonderful thing that we are getting the executive order lifted.
I know.
However, Governor Abbott is he's like a lot of rhinos. He hides behind some conservative values for political plays.
Yeah.
But last year when everybody was, crying out to him to stop it because not saying that COVID doesn't exist, but it wasn't to the extreme of what the masses were pushing on everybody.
Yep.
And he still wouldn't do what his constituents, that voted him in asked for.
Right.
And Texas is, I guess, a state that a lot of people like to fall back on as it's strong and it's conservative and it'll win the fight. But people have to realize our state capital, Austin, it's got the highest population of homosexuals.
Wow.
It's very corrupt, just like a lot of our big cities are. Houston and Dallas, extremely liberal. And so, yes, Texas, the rural areas, people are definitely, I guess, more often the better standing of moral attitude. But it's just under siege as anything else, as if same as California and New York.
Yep.
So I mean,
Yeah,
there is people out there that are. Go ahead, sorry.
Anise Parker was the lesbian mayor of Houston, Texas, from 2010 through 2016. A lesbian mayor in Houston, Texas.
Yes.
What a mess.
And Governor Abbott, I mean, we've got the re-election. Well, we have an election coming up for our governor in 2022. So just like many people, they all feel like it's just political plays because he could have done this he could have released this a lot sooner.
Is he going to be up for re-election or is he terming out?
I'm not 100% sure on that. I think he can have one more go at it, but like Jesse has interviewed Colonel Alan West before.
Yeah.
We're hoping that he runs. There's another one, I forget his name. I think it's Prager or something, but he has a like YouTube channel as well.
Oh, okay.
He's supposed to run as well. Yeah, hopefully he runs too, but I mean, of course it goes back to the local levels as well. You have to, I mean, you think Texas and you think, conservative, but even in some of our rural towns, the corruption is just bad. Once they get in there, I don't know if it's the taste of power and greed, but they usually end up siding with the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't expect that, but Texas I'm not knocking it. It's a wonderful place to be. Don't get me wrong. I was born and raised here.
Yeah.
But people have to be aware of the fact that it's not the safe place that's going to stand the ground all the time because, as I commented, the Capitol is extremely liberal.
Yeah. I mean, I have not been impressed with the Texas politicians or the Texas people in terms of like the people from the cities for a long time. I've seen the weakness eroding and eroding and eroding. I've had callers from Texas who are kind of rhinos, and I've seen, who's that guy, Will Hurd or something like that? Hurd. He's like this mixed race, light skinned, black, the only like black Republican congressman or something like that. And he's a total rhino, a hater of Trump. I think he's retired now already. And now he just wants to be an influencer on the outside of politics. But and a bunch of Ted Cruz, another weak person. I mean, I thought that he was strong and conservative, but he's conservative, but he's weak. Yeah.
Yeah, so they flip-flop at the drop of a hat.
Is that true? I don't think Dennis Prager even resides in Texas.
Not Prager. I can't. His name starts with a P. He's a white guy that is very country.
Oh,
he has a YouTube channel. I can't remember his name, but it starts with a P.
Okay.
Anyways, last year he spoke about running because our governor would not release the executive order.
I wonder if that guy. I wonder if the one that you're talking about has been on the Jesse Lee Peterson show, because there's a guy whose name is on the tip of my tongue. He's a little bit more of a newer. He's a newer personality, right?
Yes.
A little bit younger.
He is.
And he wears a cowboy hat and he talks in front of the Facebook camera or something like that?
Yes. I think we're thinking of the same person.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. He said that he'd mentioned on his show that some people with the money to fund it for his running.
Yeah.
Basically, like, if you're right, if you're willing to do this, we're willing to back you. So, I mean, Colonel West is absolutely wonderful. Would love to get him in there. But, it's just an awareness to all Texans because it does get talked about how Abbott he's no good. He'll throw out a bone every now and then, and it's like he gets praised for it. But in the long haul, he hasn't really done much. He hides behind a couple of. It's just rhino.
I'm glad to hear a normal person seeing through him, because I wasn't really sure about him. I haven't paid enough attention that I know about that guy, but it's a shame that he's like that, but I'm happy that you see through him, I'm happy to hear it in that sense.
Yes, and I'm glad that you can see it as well, or sense it, because a lot of people, you don't hear about it, they don't speak out and when I say they don't speak out, meaning they don't have like the platforms to speak about it.
Yeah.
But it definitely gets talked about. I mean, he is he's no good.
Right.
I mean, everybody thinks Texas has got it locked down. Texas will stay on the ground, but no, we've got a lot of weak men leading.
Yeah, and you're getting more from California.
As well. Yes. We've been infiltrated from Californians, which not all are bad, but
Most.
A lot of them have
Yeah.
come into Texas and corrupted the business and the politics extremely.
Yeah. It's been a long downward slide for all of America, including the South, which I love the South. Yeah, Prather,
Yes.
Chad Prather, maybe.
Yes, that's him.
Okay. Yeah, thank you,
Yeah.
Brandon M.
Exactly. Yes.
Well, I
But,
appreciate it, Kathleen. You know, the other governor who's removing the mask mandates and opening up the businesses from Mississippi, I think. What's that guy's name? He looks kind of boyish because he's kind of he like has baby fat on him or something like that and big hair.
Yeah.
He's another rhino who hates Trump. I've from what I remember, just have a total.
Well, they hate him because, you know, Trump was the non-politician who was just willing to speak the truth on things.
Yes.
And every politician, I mean, it's hard to find anybody that doesn't run into that career or whatever that doesn't expect something out of it. It's all for self-interest
Yep.
or some personal gain. I mean, there's like, I'm going to say maybe less than 5% that are actually out there willing to do what's right for the human being and for the morals of our country. And as just the morals of human beings that God has intended.
I think that they face pressures and they're weak morally people. So even if they are well-meaning, they don't have the inner strength to stand up under pressure.
Yeah.
Like we saw, for the most part, Trump displayed that. Tate Reeves is the Mississippi governor, total rhino.
Yeah, yes. Yes, you're right on that. They're very susceptible to being just bulldozed or just running away and just being cowards in a sense.
Yeah. Blackmailed and all that stuff.
Ego. Yes, you have the ego in there as well, which ego is a thing that a hard thing to go against.
Fake Christians.
Not that it can't be overcome, but
yes,
absolutely.
Whereas Trump was just what you see is what you get.
Yeah, we got Joel Osteen, if that tells you anything. So Texas has got its own issues as well.
Right. Appreciate it, Kathleen.
Thank you. Have a great one.
All right. You as well. I'm going to take a quick break here. I got lots of people on the lines. By the way, you heard that Derek Chauvin, they're picking the jurors for Derek Chauvin's, I'm going to call it a kangaroo court trial. We'll see what happens. Derek Chauvin being the white former Minneapolis, Minnesota police officer who put the knee on the neck of the black man, killing him. Although I doubt that killed him. But anyway, hang tight. Couple of minutes here. I don't have anything special to play. Oh, but before I come back, play that other one, that little song that I put in that folder. All right, guys, hang tight for a couple of minutes. I'll be right back for the rest of hour 2.
Like a thief in the night, they'll take away what's left of us. Burning landslides lighting up the sky in front of all of us. Summer fire, heavy heart taking over, leading me to my grave. And I don't know what to think of what I told you, but tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow is another day. Fall away. Let the ashes of these memories turn to gray. Stall the pain and let go of all your emptiness so love remains. Like a bird on a flying sky, watch the clouds as they pass on by. Soar from the earth with no fear and no need to hold on to you, dear. But I'm afraid that I won't come down, 'cause it feels like having you around, like it was back then. I don't know what to think of what I told you, but tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow is another day.
Don't take the bait, you know they are fake. Just stop and wait, you can see the hate. There's no debate, listen to Hake News.
Nice. We are back, guys. Shout out to Adriana/Adrian. Likes to go by Adrian. The rapper, as JLP calls the singer. For the Hake News song. I like that song. I haven't played it a lot, but I like it. And that was John Parfit in the longer song that we faded out there. The also known as Bright Lights, Summer Fire. Reminds me of the beginning of the Fallen State episode. That's a Man on the Street episode. I don't remember if it's when Jesse went to MacArthur Park and talked to the illegal aliens there and stuff about immigration and should we have the wall and stuff like that. Are you illegal? Did he ask them? I think so. Anyway, that's a great... Is Bright Lights better than Hake's 20-year-old Christian music from when he was younger? By the way, Nick said that all the members of DieRadioDie, you know that first song that I played that I was talking over, the bartender, are redheads. No wonder they're all emo. Redheads are hotheads. Emo, I think it's short for emotional music, but it's like a certain, like, technical. Anyway, whatever. Thank you, guys. And by the way, I saw a chat in the live chat. Rafael says, I'm off pot, guys. I feel epic. Literally, kind of thanks to, I think, is what he's saying. Literally, kind of thanks to Jesse and his ignore thoughts thing. Right on, Rafael. Mr. Anderson, congratulations. Isn't that nice? Would you ever dream that there would be, with all the cultural change, conservatives, so-called right-wingers, libertarians, and liberals alike being for getting off pot? Most of them are for getting on pot. Next call already, says Luis. All right, Luis. But right on. Congratulations. That's cool. We gotta, and people should have shame again about all those things. Drinking, smoking, sex, pornography, all that stuff. They're trying to take away the shame. So female. Take away the shame and pretend that homosexuality is normal. And all that stuff. And it's normal to get into pornography and sex out of wedlock. It's not. And everybody knows that it's wrong, honestly. They may have trained their minds and lived in a bubble of a world, meaning the bigger mainstream world, that says, oh, this is fine, this is normal. Get off the pot, says Asmodor, yeah. Anyway, tons of calls to get to. I will get to Paul up next, but first, Paul's a first-time caller from Brooklyn who wants to comment on this George Floyd trial. But first, let me talk with Bobby in Texas about this Harry and Meghan Markle thing on Oprah Winfrey's show. If you missed the Jesse Lee Peterson show, we talked a little bit about it. What's up, Bobby? How are you doing over in Texas?
I'm doing good, James. How are you doing?
Nice.
Good morning. Well, first things first, I want to wish a happy birthday to White Chris.
Nice. Yes. He thanks you.
Also,
he's not on the board right now. It's Joel Friday here, but on his behalf, I thank you.
Oh, thank you. And also, I wanted to say what was up to little Zach. Appreciate him keeping up the good fight.
Little Zach.
I like to see him.
That's funny.
He reminds me of myself when I was his age. I'd be battling all the leftards in my classes in college and high school, and it was
right on.
I remember it was a rocky ride.
Nice. I respect that. Young people who are outspoken like that.
Yeah, I do too. I like that. And I like that he calls in and speaks his mind. That's cool.
Yeah.
But so yeah, getting to my point. I wake up this morning and I see on my news feed that Oprah Winfrey is trending. So I'm all like, oh right, they finally got her for human trafficking. And then I go look into it and I realize, how she was real close with Weinstein.
Yeah, right.
So I figured they probably caught her finally, and then I realized it's got to do with that trash bag Meghan Markle.
Yeah, what a shame.
So I getting to look at that, I was like, okay. So then I see her that she's not willing to produce any receipts or call out anyone that said anything. But I guess she forgot that silence is violence, or silence is what is it? Completion. What's the word?
Complicity or something like that?
Yeah, complicity. There you go. She's just like going off about all this racism. At least she's attacking England instead of America for once.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah.
What a shame. Isn't that just such mess? All it is just a bunch of gossip. That's all they're worth. The royals, they're just worth a bunch of gossip.
Yeah, it's complete garbage TV anyway. Just watching anything to do with the royal family is a joke. I hate having to defend the royal family because, they're a bunch of trash bags too.
Right. Man, that's vicious. Trash bags.
none of the royal family is worth it. I have
he called
Meghan
Markle. He called beautiful Meghan Markle a trash bag. Can you believe it?
She was terrible on Suits.
Oprah is a chupacabra. That's funny.
Oh God, she's just terrible. She's a horrible person too.
Yeah, I know.
All this whole racism gambit, it's going nowhere. It's going to go nowhere good. You know that.
True. Yep. Very true. What a mess. Yeah, they act like they want this title for their son and stuff like that, or at least the woman does. Meghan Markle.
Yeah.
And the one who married Prince Harry. And yet they rejected their own so-called royal duties, right? Because being royalty, you actually have duties to carry out and responsibilities. You're supposed to do certain things. And they shirked those things, right? They said, oh, we're not doing it. We're breaking away.
Yeah, we're going to move to where did they go? Canada, I think? I can't remember.
They might have. I think they bought a place up in Calabasas or Brentwood or somewhere too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly. I don't follow those idiots. So.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Not my thing. I was really just hoping Oprah was in trouble. I was like, oh.
Nope,
bummer.
It's just another smear white people thing.
And then
that's all it is.
What was it? The caller you just had a second ago, the woman from Texas?
I think Kathleen, was that her name? From Texas.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, she was on point. She knew, our politicians are a bunch of weak individuals. I as much as I would like to like Ted Cruz, he just doesn't have any testosterone. He's just a very weak guy. He allowed Trump to basically just slam dunk him, and he didn't have anything to say.
Yeah. I know. And then he tried to stand up when Trump kind of insulted his wife with that meme, the side-by-side of Ted Cruz's wife with an ugly face, and then beautiful not yet first lady at that point, beautiful Melania Trump.
Yeah, he just took it on the chin. He hasn't impressed me. You got Dan Patrick. We got crap for politicians.
Oh,
Texas.
yeah. Don't you guys have Dan Crenshaw?
No, I think he's South Carolina, right?
Oh, no, am I mistaken?
I think so. I don't think we have Crenshaw. We did.
Okay. Let me see.
I didn't know that.
Texas.
Oh.
You're trying to disown him.
No, we do have one good one then.
What? Dan Crenshaw's not good? I don't think.
He's the one with the one eye, right?
Yeah, he is the one eye. No, man, that guy is worse than Ted Cruz, maybe.
You think?
Yeah. Yeah, no. He's not.
I have to look into him. I don't know a whole lot about him. I didn't even know he's from Texas. So
yeah.
Obviously, I'm not on the point on that one.
Yeah, he's 36 years old, former Navy SEAL, right? And, he's said normal things like Trump didn't say some of the things that you guys are saying, right? And so he looks like he could have some strength to him, but then when you push him, he even doesn't even like the America First people, and he denounces some of what Trump says. Trump says nothing wrong, but these people are cowards. I think of him as being very politically correct and weak.
Yeah, if that's the case, then yeah, he's definitely not up to code.
And he
like,
played.
We need a whole new batch of Republicans in Texas that understand that if you're not America First, you really don't have any business being in office. Period. Whether you're a Republican or a Democrat.
I got a super chat, a colorful chat from Trovo from Cobra Koi 99. He says, "Hake, LOL. I believe in Ted Cruz. He does have a backbone against Democrats, and he stands with Trump. So is Georgia ever going to release any evidence from the election?" Oh, I don't know about the Georgia situation. I think the prosecutors are trying to investigate Trump for his call with is that the Georgia Attorney General, or am I thinking of a different state? But that's a good question, Cobra Koi. And, if you support Ted Cruz, that's great, because he does at least claim conservative values, but he's been hit and miss, Cobra Koi, but I appreciate it. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something that, I don't hate Ted Cruz.
Me neither.
I like that he's out there. I think he's weak. I just don't think and I like that he backs what he backs. He just doesn't have the passion or the fight, I guess is the word I'm looking for, to stand up to the critics.
In some ways, he's turned into a politician rather than himself, or a lawyer. Lawyers,
that's really
they go through this school, and this guy is just an intellectual. He's not a normal person. He's kind of phony. And that Trump really exposed all of those guys, including Governor Scott Walker of Wisconsin, back in 2016 or whenever their first Republican debate was, when they were all running for president. And it was just a man among boys. So that's when I started seeing these conservative.
Things I loved about Trump was that he did open my eyes to a lot of the stuff that I really didn't notice going into it. Like, I really wasn't big into politics that much. I've always voted conservative, and I've always kind of tried to argue with Democrats. But as far as how weak my politicians were, I really didn't know.
Right.
I was like, oh man, these guys are terrible.
Yeah. He was an eye-opening force in America, and I love that.
I do too. I really appreciated Trump. I think he did a good job, and I hate that he's not getting the respect that he should have gotten for what he did.
But they treated Jesus the same way, with hatred and disrespect. So
now they've got the border problem coming in with thousands and thousands of people wanting just to be moved into the country and released.
Yep.
When we can't even employ our own people or house our own people.
Yeah.
Poverty's out of control.
And they're not even really. I hear that they're in some cases not checking for the virus that they're pretending to take so seriously. And in other cases, they check them, they get tested positive, and they still get released into America. They don't care about that. Just shows you they don't care about the virus or the people.
Is it possible for if I don't know what the wall situation is for Texas, how far it is, if it's completed on the Texas border?
Yeah, I don't know either.
Does Texas have control over that at all? Do we have any say in?
It's a good question. Wall? I know that El Paso, isn't that right on the border on the other side from
Mexico?
Yeah, and they are a bunch of liberals. And Hispanics, honestly, don't. I mean, some of them do care about the situation, but liberals are not sane people, and the rhinos are not either. They'll let things slide and let things slide and let things get out of control until you have no country anymore. That's what they do with the homelessness crisis, because there's these female-minded homelessness advocates that the politicians allow them to prevent anything good from happening to clean up the streets. And so homeless people run the city here in LA right now. I have some footage I may show later this week of these huge, they have more stuff than me.
I saw the city was being charged $6,000 a month or a day for each tent that they have put in the city there.
Wow.
I think it's in LA.
Uh-huh.
And it's I think it was $6,000 per month or something like that these tents are costing the city and they've got them little parking spot kind of deals, squares painted where your tent can go. And I don't know Like, and I don't see how people are like, oh, that's great. At least they have a place to stay. Like,
I know.
nobody wants to live in a tent year round. Like,
Yeah.
it's horrible.
Yep.
Like, living in a tent for a couple of weeks was miserable. Like, when I would go when I was young, like I can't imagine that being your, like, everyday house. Like, that'd be horrible.
Right. And it's bad for the city. It's disgusting.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, there's nothing good about that.
I know. I appreciate it, Bobby. It's good to hear from you.
You too, James. Have a good day.
You too. Very nice. I got to get to Paul, the first-time caller from Brooklyn, New York, on this George Floyd trial. Speaking of smear white people time. What's up, Paul? How are you?
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing much.
Cool. Yeah, man, that George Floyd trial is gonna. If he doesn't get convicted, they're gonna go crazy down there.
Paul, you're coming in real rough and kind of you're breaking up
now?
a bit. And can you come closer to the phone?
How about now?
I'm not sure. It's still coming in a little quiet.
Oh, okay. All right. If you don't hear me, then maybe another time.
You're sounding a little bit better now.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
If they don't convict him, it's probably gonna go crazy down there, right?
Oh yeah, that's true, and that's not a reason to convict him, but that's.
I know. I don't know. I guess he had drugs in his system, obviously. The excited delirium. They're gonna argue excited delirium.
Yeah.
Right? That he just had a heart attack. But I feel like those juries are gonna be, they're gonna know the case, and they're gonna feel pressure to actually do something. Because if they don't, then what if somebody finds out who you are, right? You don't want to be out there, right?
Right. Yeah.
There's a lot of pressure on, and you have to be very tough. I want to see who they pick, what kind of complexion, or what kind of jury they pick. I used to go there. Me and my father were like football fans. We're like the Vikings from Minnesota. Minnesota.
Uh-huh.
We used to go down there all the time, buy tickets, go to Manny's Steakhouse, spend thousands of dollars. Have my uncle. We used to all go. But now after this happened, and now the NFL, with the COVID, they don't even let you in without a vaccine or whatever.
Right. That's true, huh?
I'm not going there. They could eat it, whatever. I might not even watch the NFL. They're lucky I do.
Yeah.
The players hate me anyway. They hate me because I'm white.
That's true. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Wow. How? What a shame. They just let America just be destroyed and insulted.
Right.
Out of existence.
Crazy. You got to go to Florida. I'm in New York. This is terrible over here. This is terrible. I travel on a train. I used to go to work in Manhattan, downtown Manhattan. Take the A train. You heard the A train ripper? You murdering people.
Wow.
That's where I go to work. I have to go on that train. It was a weird time. It was homeless people.
Yeah.
I could avoid it. You got to have perspective, and I don't live in fear. I know God will protect me.
Right. But you don't want to just walk into something that's a crazy situation unnecessarily.
Oh my God! And then you go to Manhattan, and everything is closed down. It's very dark. But only you could get food to go real quick, and it's just dead. It's really crazy.
That's a shame. That's evil.
I have a decent job. I got lucky. I'm a lawyer.
Nice.
I'm lucky. So I'm like the white collar. So I used to work at a restaurant.
Wow.
A long time. But they got sent in because now the courts are open. Lawyers can work.
Right.
You can settle cases. I'm a personal injury lawyer. I can still settle cases. I'm actually better off now than I was.
Are you doing Zoom stuff?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
It's all courtroom stuff through Zoom.
I don't have to go anywhere. I do depositions on Zoom, everything. Now it's so convenient. Now people don't, even though they can go back to normal, nobody wants to.
Right.
It's so convenient because you don't have to travel on the train, go to Manhattan, wear a mask, whatever they make you do. There's plastic dividers everywhere.
Yeah.
We're in a clown world. People are crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm good. My family's thinking about going to Florida. My parents are retired.
Uh-huh.
Right. My brothers are teachers. I have 3 older brothers. 2 of my brothers are teachers. One's an electrician. One brother's into crypto, like crazy now. He's into the cryptocurrency.
Nice.
Crazy. It's too crazy though, because you have to get in early.
Right.
I feel like it's too late.
Yeah.
There's a Ethereum. There's another one where he's playing with it. You have to keep watching the prices. I don't have time for that.
Right. Only do long-term stuff, I guess.
Gold. Well, that's the problem. The dollar is going to collapse. It's inevitable, right?
Man, it seems like it. Yeah, it's hard to know the future, but it seems like they're just making money worthless. Is all they're doing.
You think they're ever going to cut the budget? Are you serious?
I know, and raise minimum wage and all that stuff. It's ridiculous.
No, it's inevitable. Every fiat currency is called the fiat currency. What we have right now, it's not backed by gold. You have to have gold went up from 20 years ago. The price was $280. You know what it is now? $1,700.
Wow.
Okay. So if you invest in gold now, actually the price is dipping. I'm watching. I actually accumulated some wealth. I got lucky. I got a little bit. I got divorced because, you know, right when I got my own place, I found Jesse Peterson. So now my life is amazing.
Nice.
You know, now I'm just saving money. God is just giving me blessings on top, and I'm not arrogant. I'm humble about it. You know.
Yeah.
And I don't even worry about it because, like, you know, God willing, I could get a nice, you know, you got to fight for your country. That doesn't matter. It's not about money at this point because if you have money, it doesn't matter. You know, the country you're in trouble. If you're in a city like me, I'm in a city. I'm in the middle of enemy territory, right? And Democrat controlled, white guy in the middle of Brooklyn. I got to get out of here. If the dollar collapses the way they keep going with it, which is what these people want, they just want to collapse it in a way that they don't get blamed for it. People don't get awake. You know, they're timing it, right?
Yeah.
I think they know that time is running out because Biden is going to wake so many people up. I feel like now everybody knows the election was stolen, that this is crazy. It's getting crazy. The lies, they have 4 years to maybe lock down on us. I don't know. You know?
Yeah, who knows? Who knows what the future holds? But it is good to get your life right so that you can handle a crazy situation. Nobody anticipated these. I don't think that most conservative people anticipated these insane shutdowns.
Oh, no.
Caught a lot of people off guard.
No, but Alex Jones did. Alex Jones always said it would be a virus.
Yeah.
He said there would be some kind of pandemic.
Right.
They want to destroy the population. I knew when the virus hit, I already knew it was. This is crazy. This is what happened.
And a not very deadly virus at that.
Right. This is one they can control because if they have a deadly one, you can't control that. This is one they can play with you. The Simpsons predicted it. They already said one that's simple. How about the flu?
Yeah.
Because they know they can control you because people are stupid watching TV.
Yeah.
So get off the TV. Read a book. Read history. Please. I've been reading like crazy. I use this time to get fucking wise. Sorry. Oh, I cursed. Sorry about that. To get wise. The wisest people, Socrates. I read from Socrates. He says the happiest people are the people who seek wisdom. Right? If you seek pleasure, if you seek pleasure, you're the lowest. You're like an animal.
Yeah.
Right? If you seek honor, it depends if you're seeking honor for the right reasons. Like if you're seeking honor because you're wise, then you're seeking honor for the right reasons. If you're seeking honor because you want wealth and power, then you're the worst.
Or just praise. Yeah. Just an ego trip. Yeah.
You gotta get wise, and you'll be the happiest, and also have God. Christianity, number one. Read about all the crazy things people did. Learn. This is time. We need leaders. We need to learn. You know, they say Isaac Newton developed all his theories about relativity during not to kick me off, like a plague. During the plague, he was in his house. He developed relativity. All his crazy theories. He was locked in his house.
Wow. I mean, take advantage of the opportunities.
Take advantage.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the great things in the world, the secrets of the secrets, God, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying, right?
I appreciate it. Very good points, man. It's good to hear from you, Paul.
We're going to do it, though. You have faith and everything. I wrote a letter. I'll let you go after this. I wrote a letter to my parents and to my family. I wrote like a letter, Jesus' quotes, right? Which helped me learn a lot because Jesse says things and I Google it and it's always like a Jesus quote at the time, right?
Wow.
So now I know all these Jesus quotes and I wrote this letter. I have it on my computer. Whenever I read it, like on a Sunday, to learn about it, study it, you know, not study it, but like put it into practice to know it. I gave it to my family, and you know, most of them, they don't find the narrow path, you know, they let it go.
Right.
But that, you know, yeah.
That's cool, Paul.
Yeah. All right, man.
We'll talk again. Appreciate you. Take care.
Yep.
Very nice. Were you guys able to hear him okay? I know that he kind of came in and out. Press 1 if you heard him fine. Press 2 if it was hit and miss. Anyway, guys, I want to get to Cam, a first-time caller in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm going to try to get to everybody. I have Rafael from Vancouver actually called in saying he quit pot. Hang tight, man. I will get to you. Cam, what's up?
Yo, man, what's up?
Hey.
Yo, so I was just hearing the guy talk about how it's like these people promoting the struggle in the black community or whatever. And there'll be successful black people saying this, like Oprah. I was actually was actually watching a live stream. I'm not going to say his name, but I was watching a live stream of like a pretty successful entertainer. We'll just say that. And this guy is talking about how he wants to take money from all the rich white people, and like, you know, we have a commonality of Democrats and Republicans. We want all the rich white money or whatever, or the money from all the rich people.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand. Yeah, how is that productive? Like, why not just tell us how you got your money? Because like you on YouTube, this is like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like people, like they'll have following, they'll have real estate, they'll have stocks, they'll have different avenues of income, but they'll sit here and tell us that, oh, the white man is always down on you. He's always gonna pull you over and take you out your car and beat you up and all this other type of stuff. And it's like, man, I listen. Like I was a young, stupid person. You know, I'm 26, but when I was a little bit younger, I was, you know, wilding. I was in the car doing crazy stuff, driving fast. And whenever I got pulled over, no matter what, I always showed the officer respect because I understand the game. Right. You know, it's still a game, and this is still a man. This is still a man with a family, and, you know, and if anybody fidgets, right? If we just some regular people, if I just picked you up on an Uber ride, right, and you want to get in the back seat and you start fidgeting, anybody in their right mind would think that somebody got something, right?
Yep.
But it's like a police officer. He got to be a mind control. A mind reader type guy. He got to just know exactly what you. He's a man.
Yeah.
And then another good point too is that hip hop music, right? So like I love hip hop, you know, and it's like a lot of hip hop music talks about that. Like I don't want no fidgety, you know what I'm saying? I don't want no person. I can't trust them. Da da da.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All these little intuitive pointers to like point at. Like look at that. Okay, yeah. If you do that, that's how you know he's gonna do something to you. Yeah. But it's like, yo, you don't give none of those rights to the police officer. Like, and I know like. It's some police officers out here that's doing some wild, crazy stuff, but like they not all like everybody. It's like somebody just said, somebody got ran over the same day of George Floyd, and they didn't even like mention it or whatever. Like stuff happens all day, every day, all day, constantly. Like constantly. And I don't get how we have black entertainers out here that are rich. I'm talking about rich. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. Be rich if you work for it. That's good. This is America. I want you to be rich. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's like, how could they be promoting something that's so detrimental to their fortune? It seems like there's an ulterior motive to it, because if they try to knock down that power, then what is it going to happen?
It's in vogue right now to push that mess. It is like almost a pressure. You get trashed as a black if you're in the public eye and you don't trash whites. People look at you suspiciously, because there is a big push amongst the evil people to push around. Some of these guys aren't as radical as they're pretending. They're just playing. Right. I really believe that there is a push to pretend that racism exists and that I suffered this or that. There's a lot of these people are just weak. They just don't have the strength to be real. Yeah.
Look, this is actually something I want to say like real quick. You can actually look this up. I mean, I don't want to be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is correct. The word Slavic comes from the word slave. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's true. So the Slavs were the original slaves.
What do we?
Yeah.
This is so goofy.
Right.
This is goofy, man.
Yeah.
This is goofy. Why? And then why are they picking at a scab? Why not let it heal, man?
I know. It's so true. No,
everybody, like Hiroshima, they got, if you just watch a video on that, like, are you kidding me? Like, and it's no point to bring it up. That's what I'm saying. They don't even bring it up because it is what it is. Things happen. You know, if you in the field, you understand that things happen.
Right. Yeah,
but
that's
the
true.
police officers, they all evil. They all this, they all that. It's like, man, oh my God, man, it's crazy out here, man. It's just crazy, man. It's like people don't understand like what the situations that they don't have to be put in because the officer put himself in the situation for you.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a crazy stuff that you would have to do to somebody that you would not want to do to them. But it's like, you know what, man? Let me try to figure out a way to just be able to go to sleep at night tonight and not be able to, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like they give officers no credit for nothing, man, and it's awful because like it's just a it won't stop, and it needs to stop. Like it makes me upset, man, because I'm not a big police guy. I'm not a big anti-police guy. I'm just a guy that just wants to be a good guy in America and feed my family and you know what I'm saying, be a good guy. Like if this guy wants to do that, he's man. I think one thing though that we definitely need to do is hire more people in the communities that are from that community. I'll say that.
You can do that, but there's sometimes it's hard to even get people because people from the community know how bad the community is. They don't want to work there. And the other thing is, man, keep it cool because the reason that they're like that, the reason that people are so blind to that is because they're angry. And anger makes you blind. And it makes you more liable to believe lies, right? You just start assuming things and you think you're right because you're so caught up and you think that you're righteous even. And then two, they're raised to believe this stuff. Look at all the propaganda about George Floyd and Mike Brown and Trayvon Martin.
Floyd was wilding, man.
I know. Yeah.
He was wilding out. Like if that was like, look, no, like I hate talking about like this. But you got to make some points to people to kind of connect it. If that was your uncle for real, would you be like proud of it? I mean, like, you know.
No, you'd be like, he kind of got what was coming to him.
I'd be like, come on,
Yeah.
you're tripping.
Yep.
You know the game, come on, man. Like, what are you doing?
No, I think he was already on his way out. There was something going on with him.
Yeah, man.
But,
you know.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's all I really wanted to say.
I appreciate it, Cam. It's good to hear from you.
Yeah, this is actually the first time. I watch Jesse all the time, but it's my first time watching your show and talking on here. I like it, man.
Nice. Right on, Cam.
Yeah.
We'll take care.
Man.
We'll talk again. Take care.
All right, peace.
All right. People say, Glassy Hake, I have what is it called? I think it's hot in here. It's hot. We're sweating in here. I am anyway. Joel doesn't sweat. He's from... Never mind. He's from the bayou. It is so hot and humid that feels like home for him. Although I think you were born in like east of LA, right? But it's in the DNA. He says people who do it right appreciate life. Others cut corners and are corner cutting and ego driven. That's true. And that's why you see Oprah acting like she is. Even though she put in all that time. Yeah, I felt the AC on for a second, and now they're turning on the air again. I felt like I felt the AC on for a second, and then it suddenly got hot. And anyway, I got to get to Rafael out of Vancouver, Canada. Wow. What's up? Is it Rafael?
Yo,
Rafael.
Yeah, you said it right.
Yeah, I kept on saying Rafael, but you're Rafael. You're the guy who calls my show sometimes. Nice.
Yes, sir. Yup.
So you quit pot?
I did, man. It's beta.
Pot is beta, is that what you're saying?
It is now, man. Like, after just being exposed to you guys for, I'm not sure how long I've been watching now, maybe like a couple months.
You quit today or what?
It's day 4, so.
Oh, okay, right on. How often did you smoke before? Or whatever you did with the pot?
Oh, man, just.
Ingest.
A lot.
So a lot often. Every day?
Yeah, mostly, pretty much.
Are you suffering any physical symptoms, or is it playing with your head?
Well, it's a great question because, you know, for me, I think that the physical symptoms, just with pot, it goes away really quick.
Okay.
Like, I already don't feel, it does physically addict you, but it goes away faster than like cigarettes or booze probably, or dope.
Okay, nice.
But yeah.
And is it messing with your mind at all?
Yeah, so the mental addiction side of it is totally another thing. But what I realize about life, Hake, is like that's 2 separate problems, right?
Yep,
like,
it is.
If you have mental health problems or you're, you know, Satan is your daddy, that's not related to pot, right? That's just you.
Right. Very true. And like what you said in your chat, I assume that you're the one who was in the chat who said it was partly thanks to Jesse and his message about doubting your thoughts, not believing your thoughts, not going with the thoughts, and watching them.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yup, 100%. And like, yeah, I really kind of wanted to ask you about that because, like, I don't think I can't call myself a Christian.
Okay.
Like, I wouldn't go that far, but like Christianity is a force of good, and like if I like just being exposed to y'all who are Christians, and then just soaking up some of the ignore thought, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like you can benefit from just being around Christianity. You see my point? Like it's amazing.
Right, especially somebody who's genuine and real and actually setting an example so you can see, oh, wow, you actually can live right. You know what I mean? Because when I met or saw Jesse for the first time, I came to the church. I'm like, I didn't realize it was kind of like seeing Trump being a real, genuine person as a politician. I didn't realize there can be a genuine person as a politician. I thought they all had to be phony. And when I saw Jesse be like real and forgiving and just loving and truthful and not making excuses, it was like, oh, somebody actually can live the real Christian life. That's cool. It kind of reminds you of what is possible with God. That's nice.
Yeah, exactly. Like, for sure. And, I don't know if I'm still a child of the lie because I'm not a Christian, but, I think I'm like in the middle somewhere. And I feel like that's an important part of society, right? Like people that can at least see right from wrong. Maybe they're not fully Christian, but at least they can understand, right? Like good and evil.
Yeah, that is important. So, those are, that's basically the church. That's what all the apostles wrote to all these churches in the New Testament. They're telling them, aim for perfection, be perfect, get rid of your sin, and drop anger, and don't be infighting and backbiting and letting women run the show and all that stuff. They wrote all these things. And, don't forget your first love, things like that, meaning God. So
big fact.
That you're right. All of us are important, and you just got to cut people slack just because they show some weakness. You don't necessarily jump on them about it and trash them. Because people are, you do call them out, but...
yeah, that's important. You can't just let things slide.
Yep. Nice, man. And, that's cool.
Yeah.
How old are you again?
Sure. I'm 31, but I'm turning 32, like Chris, he white.
Nice. How long did you smoke pot? How many years? Since what age?
I was a teenager, but I quit after high school because I pretty much did the same thing right now. I realized, like, dang, man, like if you just be a pothead,
right,
it's not going to be good for me. So when I smoked in high school, and then I quit for college, and then I got a job. I got a good job, 9 to 5. Like right now, I'm, working from home.
Yeah.
So it's all good in that sense. But that's the problem is like comfort kills you sometimes,
Yep. True.
And so I just felt like, oh, it's all good. I'm just cruising now. But you can't take that approach to life, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool, man. Well, good for you.
Right?
That's interesting, man. People smoke. I knew people who smoked pot when we were high schoolers all together. And it's funny because you hear you're not supposed to smoke pot until you're 25 because your brain is not fully developed and you can cause, mental problems or hurt your short-term memory and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's a big mess.
It really is. It's partially mama and partially pot. It's a combo.
Yeah.
Of the two.
Yep. Well, that's cool, and, Rafael.
Yeah, I just want to shout out Cam, the last caller. That's a smart man.
Yeah.
That was a good call.
Yeah, he's cool. I like that.
And Blazin, Willie in the chat.
Nice.
Like, you don't have to go hams in the chat like I do to benefit from you guys. You can just, be the casual listener.
Yep.
Send a super chat here and there. You don't have to be like going hams in the chat like me. And I know I go hams in the chat.
Hams in the chat? What's that mean? Hams.
Just wilding,
Okay. Is that a Canadian slang?
No, it's like, isn't that Southern? I don't know.
Maybe it is.
Going ham.
I mean, you said y'all. That's funny. A Canadian saying y'all.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. Like, other thing, James. Like, I just want to say because it's interesting, just from me listening
Hard
to you guys.
as a M. F. Is that what that stands for? Is that what that stands for? That's an American term. Joel Friday teaching me here.
Just wilding out, just
right.
going hams, like, yeah.
Okay.
But, yeah, like, I just wanted to tell you guys, from a Canadian to you, like, your genuineness and the love that's in you, it's actually not only because you're Christian. Another reason for it is actually that you're American.
Interesting. And
you need to hear that as an American, James. Like, I just want you to hear that, honestly, because America is like, a net force of good. It's not perfect. Anyone would admit that. It's not perfect, but it's all we got, It's America. Like, if we don't have America, what do we have? Like,
yeah.
So
especially
that's partially why you guys are good people.
I think
it's important for you to hear that.
I appreciate that. That's cool. I agree in the sense that, like, the old school real American men, like Sheriff Joe Arpaio, Donald Trump, like, Jesse Peterson.
What America was supposed to be. You know? What they wrote into the Constitution, what they envisioned it to be, like.
Right.
Theoretically, yeah. So, and you can embody that,
Yeah. And the type of American who would call out wrong and just stand on what's right. No matter the smears. That's cool, man.
Stand up, man. Stand up.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that, Rafael.
Happy birthday, Chris.
Yes, happy birthday, Chris. Right on, man. Take care, man.
All right, take it easy.
All right. Very nice. Shaggy boy, get off the pot, says the Trovo chat. Let me check the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/the Hake Report. Thank you guys for the support. Yeah, I mean, Derek Chauvin is facing ridiculous manslaughter and murder charges. Murder charges. I mean, people were overreacting to that situation. I remember there's a guy who's been on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. He's spoken on men's conference before and the Men's History Month Free Speech Forum or Town Hall, who just overreacted. He thought it was murder. And then although he did qualify, he could be wrong. So even the conservatives were overreacting to this George Floyd situation. I have callers I want to get to, though. Joe in Phoenix, Arizona, wants to comment on Obama and the Black Panthers comment and stuff. What's up, Joe? How are you doing?
Good morning, James.
Morning. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know if you just didn't understand what I said last week or you were just being misleading about it, but let me clarify.
Okay.
So there were two cases. The Bush administration brought a civil case against the Black Panthers, right?
Yes.
And that case was dropped by the U.S. attorneys of Eastern Pennsylvania, not Obama or Holder. Okay.
Okay.
And they dropped it because the local law enforcement did not press charges.
Oh, okay.
So the civil case had nothing to do with Obama or Holder.
All right.
Now the criminal case, James, was pushed by Holder. It was pushed to the point to where they did get the injunction against the Black Panthers. Now you said, injunction. They went easy on them. No, that's all the law allowed in that situation. That was it.
Now, it wasn't against the Black Panthers. It was against one guy. They dropped. Didn't they drop the charges on 2 out of the 3 guys?
It was against the leader. Yeah.
Yeah. But the injunction
was all they could do because they didn't physically stop anybody or physically touch anybody. They just stood out front with guns, legal guns. They had licenses for them.
Although it's not legal to have a weapon within a certain number of feet of the polling place, right? Or am I wrong?
Correct. No, you are correct on that. What was stated in the injunction also. So they had to stay away.
Right.
So they didn't go easy. They just did it to the full extent of the law.
What Congressman Steve King said, and I don't really understand this legal term. He said that Tom Perez, who was part of the thing, and I think there was another guy named Tom Pirelli, who was also involved in this thing in some way, said that it was the smallest amount allowable by the law. And then he said that's not true. It was the smallest de minimis something allowable by law. And I looked up the word de minimis, which means so inconsequential it might as well not even be a punishment. Is it true that the injunction said you can't be within 30 feet with a weapon at the polling place? So they didn't ban them entirely from the polling place, just ban them with a weapon, but that's already illegal. Isn't that true?
It was, but again, that's all the law allowed, James.
They could have done a harsher injunction than that. An injunction can be harsh or, right?
They didn't touch anybody, and they didn't obstruct anybody going in or out. So,
yeah, to be honest, there was a woman who was in the DOJ who called, or something like that, called this small potatoes, and I kind of agree, honestly. It's just so ridiculous because the media goes nuts anytime a white person does a white display like this, right? And then they, and then the right wing are the only ones who make a big deal stink about it when the Black Panthers do it.
Well, I'm getting distracted here, but
okay.
Do you remember the lady in Central Park who called the cops on the black guy?
Yes.
She just got off.
Right.
And charged. So it does go the other way sometimes.
I know, but she got lynched basically, and I know that that's a buzzword, right?
Term.
But she got so hammered in the mainstream. Didn't she lose her job and her dog or something like that? All kinds of stuff socially, because the culture is so overreactive to the white thing. You know what I mean?
I can see why you would say that, but we disagree.
All right, man.
So we're real quick too. The minimum wage that did not pass in the Senate, so that failed in the Senate.
Okay.
Didn't pass.
Yeah, it's coming eventually, unless people. Do you agree that we should get rid of the minimum wage entirely?
I don't know about that, but I don't know. I don't want to see it raised to $15. I think that will kill small businesses.
Yeah. Do you understand the argument about getting rid of minimum wage?
I understand it, but I think that's a double-edged sword. I really do.
Because is it Thomas Sowell or was it Walter Williams or was it I forget who said it was the most anti-black policy that they could enact? He said something like that because a lot of it kind of eliminates so many opportunities for cheaper jobs, and it also kind of artificially raises.
One last thing before I go. I know you have to go. That you said that Obama supported sex education for sixth grade or not for 6-year-olds.
Yeah,
and that's not true either, James. The bill you're talking about was when he was in the Illinois Senate. The bill said that it would allow that the local communities could set their own standards, and they're talking about violence prevention, like teaching kids, like if someone touches your private parts, who to tell and how to speak up and all that. It wasn't full-on explicit sexual education. That was it.
I remember at that time there was this whole Democrat push to talk. They would talk about something called age-appropriate sex education, and he was just a degenerate with all that stuff. It's kind of the equivalent of some of these preachers passing out condoms at a church. It's so ridiculous.
I just gave you the facts of what.
Okay, I appreciate that. Very interesting.
Yeah.
All right, man. We'll talk.
All right, man. You have a good day. Bye.
You too. Take care. Ramon in San Jose, California wants to comment on this George Floyd trial. What's up, Ramon? How are you?
What's up? What's up, James? Real quick on the minimum wage, did you actually know Trump was for upping the minimum wage?
You know what? I feel like that. I might have heard something like that. You know, he and Bill O'Reilly are for. Well, I know that Bill O'Reilly was for increasing the minimum wage too. I don't think that's. I don't know if they understand the argument or whatever about just getting rid of it entirely. I guess it's kind of a pipe dream to think that we can get rid of it entirely.
I'm thinking since Donald Trump's in New York and everything's expensive, he kind of thinks, oh, they should get paid a little more.
Right.
But I think they should put it by county by county. Like in San Jose, ours is like $15 already, you know?
Yeah.
And they could afford it, but I think they should make it for like people that have over like 100 employees or something, you know, or bigger companies.
I think that they should get rid of it entirely. But you are right that it should be local. To be honest, I think it should be between the employer and the employee and nobody else, because people have a right to make an agreement. But you are right that local control would be more sane, because locals know what the market is like a little bit better than the whole national level. Every location is the cost of living depending on where you are is completely different. And to be honest, the cost of living should not really be the basis for a so-called minimum wage. It's not supposed to be a living wage. It's supposed to be you work there when you're in high school. But now we have like adult people, like parents and grandparents. Yeah. Or if you're old, you go work there too.
And the one thing that is a factor is the immigration, you know?
Very true.
They're driving up the cost of living, so people need to get paid more.
Right.
People are packing houses, so the rent goes up and stuff like that.
What a mess. It's so corrupt.
Yeah, well, to Trump's benefit, he didn't say 15. He said at least 10. Let's go up a little bit.
Was he talking about nationwide, or was he talking about?
I think it was nationwide. It was a video. I think he was doing it while he was a candidate.
Okay.
2016, 2015.
Yeah.
And another thing I actually seen where he was actually for trannies in the bathroom before.
Right. Yeah, he's fine. I remember him saying he's fine with Bruce Jenner going into the women's bathroom in Trump Tower. Yeah. Because he just doesn't really care about that stuff.
Yeah. Definitely, man. So so the thing I was talking about the trial, you know, I think it's gonna go. Hopefully, it goes good. But if I like to remind people about what happened to the jury in Zimmerman's case. You know, not only did Zimmerman's life, after even being found not guilty, his life went to hell. But even the jury people, life were hassled and losing work and all that, man. So I don't know. I don't have high hopes that the jury might, especially as big as George Floyd, was even bigger than Trayvon Martin's case, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the riots were widespread after George Floyd. It's ridiculous. The culture is that much more corrupt just 8 years later or whatever this is. And you're right. Look at the jurors after the Breonna Taylor case. There's some messy jurors who got permission to speak. I think they got permission from the judge maybe to speak. And they're pushing just absolute garbage, pretending that they wish that they had indicted the officers or something like that. It's so ridiculous. Yeah, I don't have high hopes for jurors to be truly impartial.
Yeah, this case is a big one for us, you know, because if it goes the other way, that's really the justice is really dead. Because like Supreme Court just dismissed the last voting case for Trump's the fraud cases that he sent to the Supreme Court.
Oh yeah,
that was the last one today. So that's it for that, you know.
Yeah,
on the Supreme Court.
It's terrible.
Oh, man, it's the dark days for justice, but
very true.
Yeah, just that. Hopefully, you know, it's a big case to look at. You know, see which way they go.
Yeah. Be careful. Board up your shops. Yeah. Some shops are already boarded up because they're protesting already. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they got razor wire everywhere.
Ramon, I gotta go. We're overtime, man.
One last thing about Dan Crenshaw, he's a neocon. That's it.
Okay. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right, man.
That's true.
Later.
Take care. All right, guys. TheHakeReport.com for my stuff. JesseLeePeterson.com for JLP stuff. From there, you can find The Fallen State as well as RebuildingTheMan.com. That's where you can find the Church with Jesse Lee Peterson podcast. Check it out. Thanks, guys. Take care.